Condo, townhouse, or detached? I have this conversation almost every single week, and here's the thing nobody tells you. It's never really a numbers question. It just sounds like one. The real question underneath is, what kind of Saturday do you actually want to have? So let's skip the spreadsheet and talk about that instead. I'm Paola Forero Alvarez, a real estate broker here in London, Ontario, with 7 years of experience. And this exact conversation happens in my office almost every week, usually with someone who's genuinely torn between at least two, if not all three. Quick note, if you want help figuring out which of these three actually fits your life, there's a link in the description to book a call. No pitch, just a straight answer. Okay, let's talk about the three lives you could actually be living. Let's start with condos because they get a reputation they don't always deserve. If your ideal Saturday morning involves a coffee shop and not a lawnmower, a condo might genuinely be the smartest purchase you ever make. You lock the door and leave, no grass to cut, no snow to shovel, often a gym or a rooftop or a patio downstairs. In London right now, it's also the lowest entry point into owning, sitting around $319,000 on average, which matters a lot if you're buying on your own or just starting out. But here's the honest trade-off. You're sharing walls, sharing decisions, and paying a monthly condo fee for the privilege of never touching a snowblower. Some buildings run their board well, some don't. That's genuinely worth digging into before you fall in love with the unit. The real trade you're making with a condo isn't space for money. It's control over convenience. You give up some say over your building in exchange for a life with a lot fewer chores in it. Townhouses exist for the people who look at a condo and at a detached home and can't honestly choose. And that's not a bad instinct. You get your own front door, usually a small yard or a patio, and a bit more elbow room without the full detached price tag. Townhouses are averaging around $470,000 in London right now, and it sits right in the middle. You'll still share at least one wall, so you're not fully escaping condo-style compromises. And depending on the community, there can be shared rules about what your front or backyard is allowed to look like. Here's something worth knowing if you're house hunting right now. Townhouses have been sitting on the market a little longer than usual lately. For a seller, that's stressful. For a patient buyer, that's real, genuine negotiating room. If you're the kind of buyer who's willing to wait out a listing that's been sitting for a few weeks instead of chasing something brand new, the townhouse market is quietly one of the best negotiating opportunities in London right now. And then there's the detached home, the one most people picture when they think, I finally made it. A backyard for the kids or the dog, a driveway that's actually yours, no shared walls, no board meetings, nobody upstairs walking around at midnight. It's also the biggest commitment of the three, averaging around $663,000 in London right now. And it's held its value better than the other two through this whole market shift, which tells you something about how much people want exactly this. Here's the trade-off nobody puts on the real estate listing. You're not just buying a house, you're buying full responsibility for it. The furnace, the roof, the windows, all of it is your call and your cost now, not a condo boards. For a lot of my clients, that trade-off is worth every penny. But for some, it's genuinely more than they wanted to take on. Here's the part most people miss. Condos have pulled back in price the most of the three this year, and buyers have actually started jumping back in because of it. That's usually the tell that a segment is finding its floor and not falling further. Meanwhile, detached homes aren't where the deals are. They're where the certainty is. Prices there have barely moved because demand for that lifestyle never really left. And townhouses, as I mentioned, are the wildcard middle ground, overlooked right now, which is exactly why a patient buyer can do well there. So instead of a spreadsheet, ask yourself three questions. 1. Could you honestly go a whole weekend without touching or being in a backyard? And mean it, not just say it. If yes, a condo might free up more of your life than you expect. 2. Would a shared wall actually bother you? Or would you barely notice it's there? Be honest, some people never think about it again. Some people notice it every footstep. 3. Are you buying for the next 3 years or the next 15? A shorter horizon leans towards condo or townhouse. A longer one starts to lean detached because that's where the long term stability has consistently been in. There's no universally smarter or better buy here. There's the smarter buy for the life you're actually trying to live. And that's the conversation I have with every single buyer before we even start looking at listings. So, a quick recap: condos trade space for convenience and are quietly the best value play right now. Townhouses are the overlooked middle ground with real negotiating room, and detached homes cost more but buy you total privacy and long term certainty. If you want help figuring out which of these three actually makes sense for your life and your budget, book a free call with me. The link's in the description. And if this was helpful, follow along. I break down the London market every week. See you in the next one.